Yes.
Started talking, didn't even notice. Anyway, welcome to the Parks and Rec Commission meeting. I'm Dean Benjamin, Chair. Let's go around the room and introduce ourselves.
I'm Elizabeth Whalen, Commission Member.
Sorcy, staff.
Jake Lindford, staff.
Ronald Rasmussen, Commission Member.
Dennis Pollock, 6th Ward Alderman.
Jeff Benscover, 4th District Alderman.
Rick Wellness, staff, Commissioner.
Matt Zacher, Mayor. Lee Tall, Commission Member.
Thank you, everybody. So call meeting to order. First item on the agenda is to approve the July 8th, 2024 meeting minutes.
So moved. Second.
Any further discussion?
Oh, can't be me, I can't second it. Do you have a second?
You can say, yeah, feel free.
Well, I have a question on that.
I second.
Am I free to ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay. Item number 5, under the bills, there's nothing on there, the figure that you passed. Does anybody know what it is? Just,
5,300.
yeah, I don't have it on here, but
Yeah,
it could be.
$5,300.
Would it be possible maybe on your minutes to always include
What it was.
the total
The amount.
anyway?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thanks. Move forward with that, Don, that'd be great. Okay, motion and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passed. Discuss the Robinson Park referral. Jake?
Yeah, so the referral came from Alderperson Kavanaugh about thoughts on developing a 3-year plan to do some updating at Robinson Park, which we talked about it, is desperately needed, and definitely this referral was open with open arms on trying to do some
Please speak up just a little bit.
improvements over there. Yep. So we put in here what that CORP, the council, or we hired up a firm to do go through the parks and what improvements that we can make. So the consultants, as you can see on page 2, came up with some, I guess you want to call it issues. Some of the issues have been taken care of. The kind of struck me, I was kind of laughing, they put no restrooms on there, there's restrooms there, drinking fountain there, drinking fountain there. So like I said, we have been doing some improvements, but it would be nice to make a 3-year plan. I know the previous mayor had other goals on his agenda, the dog park, the pickleball courts, which were all paid for with park outlay money, but going forward, we can start addressing some issues over there. A new playground would be nice. That's probably, I think that's a 1991 playground, so it's as soon as time, just like the one here at the zoo. And just some other things we were talking about. I think Elizabeth, you brought up basketball courts.
Well, but then we were talking that there are actually going to be basketball courts at Mead. But yeah, that would be something I think over in that area wouldn't go past.
So there used to be basketball courts there back in the day.
Okay.
So the playground, possibly basketball courts, relocating the ping pong table. I know the bathrooms need a good update and painting. The issue with that is there's no heat there, so we have to do it during the summer because it's all concrete. So they're going to close the bathrooms for possibly a week. So that's the only downfall in that.
Could we digress a little? Where did we leave off previously when we talked about the safety at the park? Remember we did those studies on the playground equipment being dangerous? What did we do with that? We just studied it? Did we ever? I can't remember if we made any motions to do anything with it, or we just.
The biggest concern at this playground was the lack of sand. So last year we added the amount that we needed for fall winter. So right now it's up to code.
Okay.
It's just that it's an older playground. But that was the biggest issue at that playground.
No sharp edges or anything on, nothing like that? Okay.
So the pictures that are included in here were with that report, they're not current.
Correct.
Okay.
But, well, the bleachers were still rusted, but horseshoe pits are gone, there's a new bike rack, so that one's not there anymore. I know they're doing some construction on 17th Street, they're making a new concrete approach to get into the park. So, get rid of all those potholes as you're driving up towards the bathrooms. If they're thinking about doing that in the next couple of weeks, the street department's doing that. And some improvements that we have made, we've added a concrete cornhole courts, and that's been a nice touch to the park. We've added 9 more disc golf pads, so now it's an 18-hole course instead of 9. We're still planting trees, 10 to 15 a year, because of the 2019 storm damage. Remember that. Like I said, new sand in the playground. We've added all new bat racks. That was on the list of fix. We did redo the sprinklers last fall, so now the sprinkler system's working both Northfield and Southfield. So we're slowly doing things. It just hasn't been nothing big. Just I think for the past mayor's big project was the dog park after a year and a half, and that was a neat project. So
Jeff?
I don't know how this is done. Jake Cantona is the requester. I would like to add my name to that, along with his, to request this. I don't know how that formally gets done, but I live right across the street from Robinson Park. I see what goes on over there, about 12 hours a day. They could really use a basketball court. That ping pong table is basically a boat anchor. There's nobody using that at all. You put a couple nets up, the hoops, you know, the concrete's in kind of tough shape.
yeah.
You know, it could be usable, but I think a basketball court is the way to go. You know, it's just, we see people in and out of there quite a bit, and, you know, I think that would be a real good addition.
As far as they said recommended the concrete pads under the bleachers, is that normal in most of the, because I think over on Mead, I don't remember those having concrete pads under those.
Mead has a couple,
Does it?
not all
Okay.
concrete, but most of the time we just spray grass pads. So.
Okay.
Does it saying that the city band pays $12,000 a year to?
I don't know where they got that number from.
Okay.
No, they don't pay anything.
They don't pay anything.
Right, they don't pay anything. I think it just, probably what we make in revenue.
That says it's a revenue generator.
Yeah. Probably, that's what we probably, I can't imagine we make that much having rentals there, but that would be wrong. No, but the city band doesn't pay the full cost.
Okay.
So there's not too many people that rent that shelter there?
Not a lot. I can send out the info on it. Here on the internet.
It's probably rented out, I want to say every Saturday and Sunday, but a good amount. This weekend was rented both days.
You're saying the shelter?
Just shelters. Yeah. We got that Jazz Fest coming up through the grass in September sometime.
This Friends of Rapid Music doing it again this year?
So then the stage is, the amphitheater gets quite a bit of use throughout the summer?
Yeah. Yep, every Tuesday with the city band, and then this festival that we do in September, and like Manuel comes, we have a church service there for their end of the year picnic. You guys,
So so that's 12,000 was just a guesstimate to what
It must-
those Tuesday concerts generate?
yeah.
And probably, that's probably not accurate.
No. I would say we probably bring in close to 4,000 for shelter rentals throughout the year.
But isn't this just for those Tuesday concerts? So do they sell tickets, or that's all free, right?
That's all free.
Yeah, okay, so,
So I don't know where this consultant got $12,000.
They've been rotating those at their Pack Center, I think, every other week. One's been in Robinson, and yeah, so there's only been maybe 4 of them so far this year, and they're
I think
done.
it's just
Yeah,
in
they
case
just
of others,
finished.
yeah, the weather's questions.
They sell that magazine, I can't remember the name of it, and I don't know where the money gets generated or where it goes to, but that is a source of income for somebody. Yeah, I'm not sure the name of it.
I guess I'd throw out there, like the city band, I went and introduced them one time, and we had talked about this a little bit already, just trying to figure out how to re-edge that cement concrete to make that safer, and then some stairs in front, ADA accessibility.
It could use a
Electricity.
facelift.
Yeah.
I think it was constructed back in the 50s.
It's great. It's like a little bomb shelter as far as I can see. It's so well built. But I don't think we want to replace it. I think we definitely want to.
Yeah. We're just talking about the referral.
How far in are you?
We're done.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. We were just talking about what the consultants brought up for that park, what we've done so far on that list, and some things that weren't on that list that we've been adding. Okay. But just to get together and get a 3-year plan, I think, for myself, I think the upgrade on the playground would be huge.
Yeah.
Basketball courts and bathrooms.
Okay.
Tricky thing about the bathrooms, Jake, is there's no heat, and it's all concrete.
There's no what?
There's no heat
Yeah.
there, so you gotta paint it during the summer.
Okay. Yeah, if this is the end of it, can I just say a little something before we
Sure.
move on? So I put the referral in to the commission. I've went to Robinson Park a lot over the years, and more recently again now that I have kids, and we go over there and it's the same as since I was a kid, except for everything it's aged quite a bit. And it's a great city park. It's a great resource. It's unfortunately, as it looks right now, when you go there, it's just not living up to its potential. And as we look at other city parks, and we're bringing them up, and I see that one, and I made a referral just so that there's a plan in place that hopefully this commission and the city can work towards over time to bring that up and bring Robinson Park back to its potential. And there was a couple of things missing that I talked to Jake about. I think he mentioned that I really think could go over there. You know, if you're going over there with kids, you got this big sprawling park. It's beautiful. There's trees, or you might be there to see the city band, or you might be there for an Assumption softball game, or parents, or disc golfing. But there's this tiny little playground and 2 swings that are, you know, decades old. And then as you start to explore around the park, you'll notice it just really looks outdated and like it hasn't gotten the tender loving care it may needed. But of course that happens as we got other things going on. So I just thought I'd bring it to the commission's attention so you guys could start working through it and decide what direction you wanted to head with that.
I kind of added my name to yours as a requester before you got here.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's a lot of support for this.
Sweet.
I used to play in that park. I probably swing on those same 2 swings you were talking about when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, they've been there forever.
Yeah, and it's a big piece of that city park too. I mean, you go there, it's like huge. It's an entire city block, and it'd just be cool if we could see more happen with having the opportunity for the band there. I think if parking and there was more stuff to do allotted, or whatever outdoor activities the community would want to plan there. There's just so much space, but outside of whatever the event would be, you would find yourself with not too much to do besides wander the park. So
It's a good spot for a volleyball court right back there. Kind of by that baseball diamond on the north end. That lower spot, I mean, dump some sand, put up a net. There used to be quite a few games going on there. The Hmong population used to come out there about every night. They'd get there at 5 and they'd play volleyball till 9, 5 days a week. You know, I mean, lately that's not happened, but it's the potential to see some of that come back.
I think if we think about, upgrading the playground, I think it should be more of a larger age frame playground, and that instead of, just, because we have the differences between, kind of the real small kids. I think there should be some kind of, I kind of, put this out there, like, like climbing kind of things. There's a park down in Waukegan, Illinois, that I'm obsessed with because it has this, this big kind of like rope jungle gym kind of, thing, and it's used by, parents with their kids. It's that big and it's, really cool. And, we get a lot of, there's a lot of people coming out there, yeah, like you said, for other activities and stuff. Disc golfers might stick around with their kids or, come more or something. It's a big space and that, but where would we put like the basketball courts? Is that, and make sure that there's parking and stuff and it doesn't, impact the neighbors too much, That's one of the things I always wonder about, and you said, Jeff, you live right across the court, this, thinking about, kind of impacts and stuff that we, do.
And the court's always been there, and, there was players, it wasn't busy all the time, but it would be busy, or it could be busy. The ping pong table, I can't remember anybody ever over there playing ping pong.
I've played there.
I stand corrected.
So you're an opponent, so there's at least two. Yeah, you're pretty quick.
I know, It's an Olympic event, come on.
But yeah, I think we should continue to leave this on refill and continue to come up with some ideas. Welcome to any suggestions. Shoot some emails in and we'll continue this discussion.
Jake,
Thank you, Jake.
do you have like a kind of a plan like that you're moving on now, maybe smaller projects? Maybe come up with something like that or feasible for the projects that you want to do there?
For that park or just other parks?
Oh,
I have kind of both going right now, so
okay.
kind of like a master plan.
Right. That'd be good.
Sand volleyball would be pretty cheap, wouldn't it?
No.
Little sand, couple 6x6s or however they're constructed. Yeah, I think that would add a lot to it.
Ron, not that we're looking at something that massive, what was the price tag on Woodside?
I can't tell you off the top of my head because I wasn't actively involved in that, and that's what I was going to bring up too. Next year, the district will be putting parks at updated playground equipment, I should say, at Howe and at Washington.
Yeah.
Very similar to what you're seeing at Meade right now going in. So, kind of the park sits kind of right in the middle of Howe and Washington, but those will both be on the plate next summer.
Which would kind of lend credence to what Elizabeth said about maybe an older,
Yeah. So like if you
maybe
go
something a
over
little different.
to Meade right now, there's kind of a K2 area, and then there's a 3-5 area. If you go look at what the district's got with Meade, you can see where the two separate parks are. We're hoping to open. I think our inspection is there on the 22nd, so hopefully they'll be open right after that.
We played the hooky, we had the grandchildren here last weekend, or last Monday and Tuesday, in the middle of the day, on that rainy day at Woodside, and there were at least 40 kids there.
Yeah, that Woodside Park is packed always. The day that the fire department did their pop-up splash pad, there had to be 200 kids running around between the splash pad
It's really awesome.
and the park. It was pretty cool.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Moving on to aquatics update.
So I sent this out Friday, Thursday, I think it was. The only change to it at this point is we had to close a little bit early on Saturday night. There was Friday. Yeah, you're right. I had that on my, so that was on the 8th. Yep. I think I added it to the spreadsheet. Yeah, that day we were waiting and hoping that we could open, but it was just too cold, so.
What day was that? I didn't
That was Friday. We thought we could open at noon or 1. First would be 1, and then we tried for 3, and it just never got long enough. So. Other than that, the passes are starting to kind of catch up to last year, even though our weather's been a little tough this year.
Sunday, a week ago Sunday, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was real nice that day. We were there that day.
And last night, we had Assumption, had a private party there for 2 hours, and they had really good feedback. They were really happy with it. They like to schedule another one for next year. So there's a couple groups that have used it, like I think both of the companies that rented it, the Urco and McCain, are both going to book it for next year. So trying to get some stuff on the calendar for next year, these repeat events. So. I heard it was busy today.
Any further discussion?
This non-resident day pass is down quite a bit this year from last year. Possibly because of the rain or...
Possibly.
Might be.
It was a big difference. We
It's a
looked
huge
at that too, we
difference.
were like,
It just kind of stood out to me.
it also could be, we're kind of past the point of asking where they live, because we're still in the colder coma, but they might have been putting them down as residents, because it's still the same price. Unless you're, they say, yes, I'm a resident, okay, would you like to buy a punch pass? If they don't buy a punch pass, they're still getting charged $7. So that could be where the difference is.
Sure.
They are still asking, but
Yeah, because that was kind of the point, wasn't it? We wanted to have
Yeah.
a feel for non-residents, so I think we do need to make sure they continue to ask.
they ask, but I can tell, we've had a couple calls of people that have been really upset because they're insistent that they are residents and they live in Saratoga. So I've had to make a couple calls to let people know that, no, actually, we don't live in the city limits, but, so I think they can ask, I just don't, unless they actually show proof of it, they might think that they're a resident because their address is Wisconsin Rapids, but.
Beautiful map on the wall.
I actually would like to add that to that screen that's in there, actually have like the boundaries added in there. At least it would be helpful for the staff requested that too.
Yeah, I was just gonna note that I was actually surprised that the numbers were as high as they were for this year so far compared to last year, because I've been thinking all summer, we frequent the aquatic center, but even on the days that it doesn't close, it's been this weird, like mid-70s, some slight wind where it's kind of cold, so I was expecting these to be drastically lower, but they weren't, so I thought that was cool to see.
July was nice.
Yeah, we caught up a lot from July to,
Well, Jake's still working on the dome quote, right? The dome to go over it?
There you go.
Working on it. The venting system stuff.
and then everybody's gonna be lifeguards on the commission.
Put everybody in tubes, bring it back
Yeah.
to my college days.
Everyone has to wear like this.
Life jackets required.
Don, when do we start the hiring process for that?
We started advertising late in February, early March, and then we try to interview over spring break. So maybe we'll try earlier. I know we're gonna need more lifeguards. We ended up pretty short at the end of the season with lifeguards, but we're okay for this week. We'll get through this week okay, but it's getting tough. And the summer is tough.
When we have the really hot days and stuff, what time do you close? Because it was still really warm, much like late into the evening and stuff.
We
And it's just kind of
close at
curious.
7 on Fridays, or Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays.
Also with that, depending on the kid's age, they can only work so many hours. So a lot of it comes down to that.
Come on, we're up here.
And lifeguards are tough, you know, we run a lifeguard class at Lincoln that used to regularly have 25, 26, 27 kids, and you're lucky we run the class now with 8. Kids are just don't,
It's tough to hit the minimum, you have to have 5 to have a class.
yeah, they just don't register.
Is it because they're getting paid more for other jobs?
That's what they tell us.
I think so.
That's what they tell you?
It's something we might have to look at going forward.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been often, but I've seen a couple times. I think it was like the Tot Lazy River. Maybe there wasn't a guard for or something. But yeah, I figured that was kind of.
I'm looking at some of the areas where we don't have guards sitting, and I kind of want to switch some of the areas for better coverage, because there's a couple of, like, there's a water attendant position where I think there should be a lifeguard, so if we could get enough guards, I'd like to add one to one of the pools and kind of change some of that around. But hopefully, I'm going to try to do a couple of lifeguarding classes over the winter, but same issue as Lincoln. We don't have a lot of people signing up for them. A couple of the kids have asked if we would be willing to cover the cost of the class. I mean, it's $46 for the actual certification, and I can teach the class. So we could potentially have that be a bonus. Yeah, we could give them a credit on their paycheck or something.
I'm almost prepared to make a motion to do that. I mean, I'm serious because.
Yeah.
It's only other means.
If they work the whole summer or something too.
I think
Right.
that,
Yep.
I think we got an awful lot of money invested in this pool, and if we can't get help because we're not paying the employees well, I mean, that's.
Yeah, I think we should look at the possibly
There's some-
comparisons with the
yeah.
state as well.
I think so for sure.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea too, and I'm, on the non-interest, you know, a couple $100 are paying for the class, that's some type of bonus to sign up and get the lifeguards in order before summer. That's a lot to a kid in high school.
It
So
is.
maybe to drum up some more interest ideas like that.
Well, I think I will actually make a motion to at least direct staff to look into the option of paying in next year's lifeguards, paying for the class.
I would second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of paying for the lifeguard class for potential students, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion passed, so you can look into that then, Dawn.
Yep,
Great, thanks.
definitely. I think it'll be appreciated.
Maybe the credit on the third paycheck.
In the summer, so they stay with us.
I think there needs to be some type of stipulation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
They
stay.
stay all summer, then it's covered or whatever.
Yeah.
So, okay, so if they were to take a class elsewhere, where it does cost like $100, what are your thoughts on that? Covering that cost as well, or just if we offer that?
I would say we would, I guess we'd have to bring that up next time, but how many of them took a class elsewhere besides ours?
Well, I don't know for sure, quite a few.
Or they were already certified? So,
Recertify?
so they have to the recertification cost the same as the original certification?
$46
But no, at one of the fancy
It's
classes.
probably $125.
I think you guys look at it and develop what you think is appropriate.
Yeah. We can look at that closer to about.
We could also just say we charge $46 for Dawn to do it.
Yeah.
We charge $110, we give them 46.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So they're still paying off back 56.
yeah.
That might entice them to come to our class, maybe too.
Yeah.
It's cheaper.
Yep.
Okay, budget update. Item 5.
Yep. I just wanted everyone to have in hand, because we'll talk about this a lot more then in the September month. I want give everyone a chance to review it in September, have the questions. Not much has changed. Some on aquatics, the biggest one was on page,
Pardon?
I'm just looking on aquatics. The biggest thing that changed is we're looking at purchasing another turbo shop, so that's why the concessions supplies is up higher than normal. And it's up $12,000, but we're looking at, a way cheaper one, but I just had that in the budget for next year to then go with the used route and buy an original one. That was the biggest change on that, that's on page 4, all the way at the bottom. And we had
I'm
two-
sorry, what was that for again?
Turbo shop?
Turbo shop.
Yeah, so we had two of them this year, we were borrowing one, and it was a huge help to get orders out faster, because you have 30 people in line, and then the people that rented the cabana want their 7 pizzas, and it just helps everything move along a lot quicker.
The borrowed one was the single one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we bought an additional shelf for the current one. So that's helped.
So you're looking to buy a double shelf one?
Probably a single.
So one that, having you said additional one is a big help. So,
Yeah.
Because the doubles are like 20,000,
Yeah.
they're expensive.
We're hoping to purchase the one that we are using.
Bar,
So,
so else to do.
Oh, that's the one you're talking about, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so. Or that, pretty much everything else is the same. There's a little increase on the zoo just because, with this new project going on with the river riders, there will be more, time spent at the zoo in the winter time, so obviously money has to be budgeted for that extra time being there. So I guess, like I said, I just want everyone to have it in hand, review it for the next couple of weeks, and then come back with questions, or call us, or shoot an email if you see something.
Get a copy of that, I didn't seem to get my packet. Okay, thanks.
Okay, any further discussion?
And if you're looking at it, because I had to look at it twice, it's all the way on the right-hand side, the projection level 1 is for the 2025 budget.
Okay.
And it shows a percent change of last year, so. That's really all I have for that part. Any questions?
What was the big drop in wages at the bike trail?
That, because last year they did, the street department did a bunch of, sections of new pavement, so that was last year.
Oh, yeah, that's right, I remember that.
So now it's back
Yep.
to normal.
Anything else jumping out at anybody?
And that's actually, Paul Bauer takes care of that, so I don't know if he's adding anything else to 2025, but that's what he does for us.
Okay.
So like, just because Christmas decorations are like going way down, it's the,
What page is that?
17. Well, not way down, but, you know. I usually expect those to kind of stay the same. It's down by 14%, it says. That was on wages and incidental labor.
Oh,
mostly.
that's Tim, the sources, he figured out all the incidental labor and wages stuff, so, we must have not last year used as much as we thought.
Okay.
So
Okay.
now times we're changing everything over to LEDs, so it doesn't, you know, those
Oh, we don't
older light
change
bulbs
that
are
as
constantly
much.
changing, the LEDs last so much longer,
Okay.
so that's a big cost
But maybe because there wasn't snow or crappy weather.
Oh.
after winter,
No, we still had
Put
like,
other big things down much easier.
Any further discussion? Okay, we'll move on to item 6, which is out of the bills.
yeah, just give those round of bills.
Yeah, I've got it coming up here.
And again, 95% of the bills are aquatics and youth.
Move to approve.
Second that.
Okay, and then. Add the final number to the motion then.
Yep. $43,252.94.
Okay, so a motion and a second to approve the audit of the bills with a total of $43,252.94. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. On to staff reports. Who's first?
So, let's see, T-ball and pitch, we sent out a form for the coaches to provide feedback on the program. We got a lot of positive feedback on some of the changes that we made this year. Had a couple of good suggestions that we hope to implement for next year. We had that practice with the rafters, and I think the kids really enjoyed that. Hope we can do that again next year, though we'll do it a little more organization to that. I was really concerned about that, but it was good. It was a really nice night, and the kids had fun being down on the field. We just opened up registration for flag football. We've got 2 teams registered so far, and we're hoping to have the first game started on August 28th, and we've got 2 refs hired as well as a timer. So now we just need 6 more teams to sign up, and I think there's a few more that are definitely interested, so they'll get the registration in soon. We are looking for a gymnastics instructor for the fall and winter. If you know anybody that's interested in that, we're advertising for that position. And we got,
Simone Biles has availability now.
she does,
She's all done.
that's right, maybe I'll give her a call.
I don't think we can afford it.
I don't think we can afford her, but our classes will be very popular. We're working on volleyball and basketball league packets right now, and then also pickleball. We had some feedback last year. I sent out something wondering if people wanted to stick with the ladder league or if they wanted to do open play or what type of play they wanted to do, and it was really split. So we're trying to think of a way to kind of maybe change that league up a little bit. Aquatics. Swim club had their practices at the aquatic center for the time that the pool was closed at Lincoln, and we got a lot of positive feedback from the parents. They really enjoyed that. The kids really liked it. Practicing outside is really different. We're used to swimming in an indoor pool. So we have there was a place for the flags. It actually is a regulation pool as far as the length and the backstroke flags. So we had those all set for them, and they really liked that. I am running a lifeguard recertification class, partnering with Marshfield on that on August 21st. So I have let the staff know if there's anybody that needs to recertify. It's nice to get that out of the way now, because then they can make it through the next 2 seasons without having to recert until the end of that season. We have got coming up season pass holders appreciation night, which is after closing to the public on Sunday. And then we've got dog day on August 19th. And I can't see how many we had registered, but we had 15 dogs already registered for that. So that tends to be a really popular event. And it's fun. We're partnering with Humane Society for that one, so we'll be getting donations for them. And they will be there helping us make sure things are running well with the dogs. We're just starting to think about some of the aquatics activities we want to do next summer. So we're hoping to add some new events. And we kind of already talked about this, but we are definitely getting low on staff because of the end of the season. A lot of the guards have left for school or are starting to leave for school or have started sporting events, so, or sporting activities, so. This is a tough time of year for us, but we'll get through till this weekend and then we're staffed for dog day and then I think everybody's gonna be on their way.
Okay. Jake?
So field staff, we assisted the street department with their pickup this last month of July. We did our soil drenching of our ash trees that are 16 inches and smaller. Continuous right-of-way mowing, parks, string trimming, baseball, softball, field maintenance. Got everything ready for the 4th of July and tore everything down the next day. Michael's roofing started the roofing construction improvement on the Centralia Center end of July. That'll be done and completed depending on weather, end of August. Preventive maintenance at all city-owned buildings and more grass plants. And one thing Don didn't get was our total for the zoo was just over 6,500 for the month of July.
Oh, speaking of the zoo, I just, a week ago, today it would have been, the young lad who was zookeeper for the day, I've never seen anybody that thrilled as he was. He was just, and he took us, we were here with the grandkids, and he took us on a tour. He told us where the best place to stand to watch the prairie dogs was. It was really cool. And he said, yeah, my parents paid for me to do this, and it's really cool. So that's a great program.
Yeah, it's a good program.
So kudos to that.
We had 15 days this year and we could have probably had double that.
Pardon?
We had 15, I think, this year and we probably could have doubled that. We'll see, we'll have to talk around into doing more of those next year.
That's all we got.
Anything else? Great. Then moving on to item 8, which is adjourned. You have a motion?
Motion.
Second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.